Okay, well, awesome. Here we go. Our Natural Pools podcast, attempt number three. Um, my name's Zach Balbini, owner of Natural Swimming Pools here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am joined with James Robyn, the founder of BioNova North America, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the history of NSPs today.
Yeah, good morning, Zach.
Good morning, James. How are you?
Good, good.
Awesome. You want
Um,
to start us off? Tell us a little bit about how
yeah,
you started building natural
yeah,
pools from traditional pools?
yes. Um, I've been a pool builder my whole life, and almost, and I was building natural looking swimming pools. And it occurred to me at one point, I don't even remember why, that a constructed wetland technology would be appropriate for using as a filter on a swimming pool, and you could do without chemicals. So I started to research it and found that they'd been doing it in Europe for like 20 years at that point. And in Austria, which is where the natural swimming pool was invented, if you will, by Gerhard Brandlmeier. Um, and It moved to Germany and Switzerland and Italy and Spain and throughout Europe. But my wife and I love going to Europe. She graduated from high school in Frankfurt, Germany, and I learned German in college and graduate school, so it was easy to say, let's go there for fun and learn about these things. And we did, and then went to a pool show in Cologne, Germany, where we met the people from all the different natural swimming pool vendors and like the people from BioNova. So in the winter of 2007, 2008, we went to the Austrian Alps into a hotel there with about 30 other BioNova people from around the world and did a week-long seminar that was real eye-opening epiphany for me because this is um, a new paradigm in swimming pools. And since I'd been in pools all my life, it intrigued me. So we decided to try it here in the U.S. and that's how it started. It's been a fun ride, um, and um, we have them now all over the country.
And
We
that was
also,
starting out originally with the all plant biofilm, or sorry, the plant regeneration zones, the bioswim ponds
right,
as well. So you were building larger wetland ecosystems.
yes, yeah, that's the older technology we call a slow filter, and it's based on wetlands construction technology. Um, the the pools there tend to be at least roughly 50% larger than what the current technology requires for us to be. Um, if we were building, say, an 800 square foot swimming pool, we'd need to build at least 400 square feet of regeneration zone um, for the bioswim pond to grow plants in and have gravel and move the water through very slowly, like a pond. That's really emulating pond technology. It's biomimicry of pond technology, pond, not technology, but the way Mother Nature handles ponds. The alternative now is we have learned in the last 20 years that if you move water fast, like in a stream and through gravel, um, you'll build biofilm quickly. And the biofilm is a bio when you move it through a as you call it a um, deep gravel filter,
Deep
um,
bed gravel filter, yeah.
deep bed gravel filter. You're growing biofilm in the gravel, and the biofilm is the it's a biofilm reactor. It grows and grows and grows quickly, and that growth of the biofilm is consuming the nutrient in the water and mitigating the ability of algae to grow in the pool. So we wind up with the pool like you have behind you there, that's in your backyard,
Hmm.
in Phoenix, Arizona. Uh, Perfectly clear. Gin clear, as my friend says. Um,
Yeah, we're due for a backwash soon. We just started losing a little bit of that gin clarity, but yeah, backwash is definitely coming soon. And as soon as it does, all that excess algae and nutrients are just going to get dumped and it'll
the,
clear right up.
these natural swimming pools got their start, as I said, in actually in Austria in the Alps, and for years they worked beautifully there. Um, and the interesting thing is now here, what is the weather like in Phoenix? Is it like the Alps?
Nope. It's 100 degrees.
Yeah, and it works there too.
Yeah, works in any climate. So those wondering if it's going to work in Canada, yes, it works in the Alps, it works in freezing climates. You can winterize. And for the very special pool people in Florida, it will work in Florida. Florida
Yeah,
is no different than the Philippines, not much different than Arizona, a little more humidity, but we have a lot more dust. Yes, you might have more pollen or microbial life, but there's dust and debris everywhere in every climate. Every climate has its pros and cons. Nature doesn't care, right? It's going to work in any climate whatsoever. Only restriction really is water temperature at 50 degrees, right? It's
yeah,
not like if you drop below 50 degrees that you can't have a natural pool. It just means that once you go below 50 degrees, your natural pool is basically in a dormant state.
yeah.
And that's when you shut down your pool in the winter, which you have to winterize your pool anyways in a chlorine chemical environment. So it's not very much different than a regular swimming pool having to winterize it. But here, where I don't know what winterizing is, because I've never winterized a pool ever, it's great. Circulates 24/7. Even if we have a deep freeze, doesn't care because the water's constantly moving. And if the water gets below 50 degrees, the water pretty much stays crystal clear here because the biofilm and the microbiome is generally healthy enough to stay active during those winter months, even below 50 degrees. It won't turn green here. So, yes, if it works in the Alps and it works here in the desert, then I think it's safe to say it would work in any climate.
Well, we have them in all those countries you mentioned, including the Philippines,
Yep.
um, Canada. We have installations all over the globe.
And public. Usually, a lot of the other countries outside the US have a public natural swimming pool that's been
Yeah, there are
approved.
hundreds of public natural swimming pools in Europe. Um,
Yep.
Here in the U.S., we did the very first public natural swimming pool for the city of Minneapolis at a place there called Weber Park. And it's a 21,000 square foot swimming pool with a 16,000 square foot regeneration zone. It's been running now for, I think, since 2014. Um, and it's been very well received. Um, the people there like it, and you can find it on Facebook and on the Minneapolis Parks
Mm.
and Recreation website. Um, and we also have one at a small hotel in South Dakota that
Oh,
was
that's right.
featured on the television program, Building Outside the Lines, with Cappy.
Oh, he was
And
turning that
that's,
into a little hotel?
yes, yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I
yeah.
thought it was,
Actually, South Dakota passed a law, and we had the opportunity to testify before the House and Senate and um, have them pass a law that allows for hotels with less than, I forget how many rooms, install natural swimming pools.
yeah, was
So
it 10 or 20 rooms? It was a fairly
I
small
can't,
amount, but
15 is what I remember, but I could be wrong. I think it's 15. Um, at any rate, that has that's been very successful also.
yeah,
So we're pleased with that and looking forward to seeing more campgrounds, etc. Um,
yeah. And for those
Build natural
wondering
pools.
about how we get board approval. Do you want to talk just a little bit about, real quickly, the IOB and some documentations that we have and
Yeah,
ongoing testing parameters for those who are like, commercial pool? What? No way they would approve
yeah,
that, because that's normal.
yeah. Um, the science and the data associated with natural swimming pools is well understood, and the data to prove the efficacy of them is also now available. Um, the IOB is the International Organization of Natural Bathing Water, and it's based out of Bremen, Germany. Um, it's the global um, association, if you will, of natural swimming pool people.
The umbrella organization, as you would
Yes,
say.
exactly. Um, and it has a database called DANA, and that DANA database has recordings of, I don't know, 100 or more public natural swimming pools, and the weekly and biweekly and monthly testing that goes on all gets recorded in that database. So if if somebody's interested in learning more about what results we get from natural swimming pools and the microbiological testing in conformance with the microbiological standards, um, we have that information and can provide it. So it's um, it's well understood. And we have been working, my partner, Alan Schnock, has been working with the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta. They have a model aquatic health code, and he's been working with them on um, looking at incorporating natural swimming pool standards into the model aquatic health code. Um, and similarly, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance, which is the trade organization of swimming pool and hot tub companies in the U.S., adopt the ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, standards for swimming pools. And Alan's been working with their standards writing committee to get natural swimming pools standards on those in those regulations. Um, we'd love to see that adopted. And the in Europe, most of the countries have adopted what originated with the FLL. The FLL is the standards writing committee that developed standards for green roofs originally, and then also for natural swimming pools. And now those standards have been moved over to the German Association for public swimming pools, all public swimming pools, chemical as well as natural. So um, they've been well vetted. The standards work, and they're the standards that we're promoting for usage here.
Yep. And what would you say? So those standards come from studies, right? It's not we're just
Yeah,
saying these are the standards. I
yeah,
know we've
water quality,
mentioned,
microbiological standards for water quality for bacteria counts, um, for different types of bacteria in water, and those standards are exceeding the standards that the CDC requires, um, or the World Health Organization requires for for swimming vessels. So we well exceed those standards.
yeah, not just for like minerals such as phosphorus, sulfur, TDS levels. We are generally below or above the standards, however you want to look at it. We generally have less contaminants than what the EPA says drinking water should have. So just this pool right here, I could take a cup of water out of it and it will have less phosphates, less total dissolved solids than what the EPA would recommend in potable drinking water. And then, so on top of that, we've got harmful pathogenic organisms specifically that people in the chlorine chemical world are afraid of. Number one of those being cryptosporidium, because it has a very famous chlorine resistant shell around it. But cryptosporidium, giardia, even some forms of E. coli are resistant to chlorine. So, how exactly are we treating those in the natural pool?
Um, it's self-regulating. The pool um, will consume um, those by outcompeting for the nutrient that keep them alive. And some forms of the zooplankton in the water, the little tiny living animals, will actually eat them. Um, and there's some studies that have shown that. Um, Daphnia
Yes.
particularly is a,
Susan Pedersen in Griffith University, Gold Coast,
yeah,
Australia, found that zooplankton will consume cryptosporidium 40% or four times faster than in a chemically treated pool.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, crypto really it's so resistant to chlorine that chlorine almost doesn't it doesn't kill it at all unless you get into really, really, really high levels of chlorine.
Yeah, with crypto and chlorine, you have to keep the pH low and the chlorine 10 times what it normally is. And you
Yeah,
have to keep it there for at least 12.75 hours.
yeah.
So if you go to 10 and then that 10 dips down to 5, that might not do it. You got to get it back up to 10 and keep it there
And
for
if you were to
13
walk, if you
hours.
were to walk even close to that pool, your
Oof.
hair would turn blonde.
Yeah, you might pass out from all the chloramines.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that because that's a big question we get, right? Is what is the safety of the water? Because a lot of people say that clear water doesn't mean healthy water. I disagree. It is generally the rule.
It's a good sign. Yeah.
Yes, it's a good sign because even
Yeah.
in a chlorine chemical world, the clearer that pool is, the more balanced it is, the healthier the system is.
Mhm.
It is a general parameter. It's not a rule,
Well,
but
chlorine pools aren't healthy per se. Chlorine pools have been
they're
completely
balanced. They're chemically
chemotherapy
balanced.
chemotherapy killed. Everything in the water has been dead is dead.
Yes.
We don't do that. We want sustainability. We want life in the water.
You could
Um,
have crystal clear water, but have uh, 10 different strains of E. coli thriving in there with millions and millions of colonies,
yeah,
and the water could still be clear.
yeah.
But chlorine resistant E. coli, because we've got E. coli in our gut, constantly fighting acids, strong acids in our stomach, what's the pool going to do?
Yeah.
It's not nearly as acidic as our stomach is. So generally, yes, the health of the water is dependent on the clarity, not dependent, but the clarity is a sign. But people do want peace of mind knowing that it's treated somehow, right? They like the idea of a sanitized pool, but when
Well,
you
it's
learn that it's not
we've been
completely sanitized, it's just suppressing biological growth. Whereas here we're doing the same thing, suppressing biological growth, but we are also treating those microorganisms because it's been proven that zooplankton will actually consume those harmful pathogenic organisms if they're not already outcompeted for nutrients or backwashed out of the biofilter every 3 to 6 months. So we
yeah,
have numerous lines of defense, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mosquitoes. How about mosquitoes? Number one big question. What would you say to the natural pool breeding mosquitoes or being a problem?
Well, they're not, and that's because the natural swimming pool has moving water. Um, and mosquitoes don't like moving water. They won't lay their eggs in it, and there'll be fewer mosquitoes around a natural swimming pool than there will be in the old tire lying in your neighbor's yard that's got water in it.
That's true. Yeah, it's definitely moving, but if there are some mosquitoes that, let's say go in the biofilter, although the biofilter is moving also 70 gallons a minute, the whole pool is pretty much moving.
Yeah,
But there are going to be some mosquitoes, I'm sure, that might lay their eggs in there.
there's
But
mosquitoes everywhere. Yeah,
there's mosquitoes everywhere.
yeah,
And I know I
But
found, because I'm
we don't
excited.
our pools do not encourage them or attract them or make them become more prevalent. Um,
It's really the opposite,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Because we are actually breeding
Dragonflies.
dragonflies,
Yeah,
damselflies, and I forget what the other really tiny looking flies are called. But yes, you will actually be breeding nymphs and damselflies that if any mosquito happens to lay an egg in the water, it has so much competition that wants to eat it. And so the fact that we're breeding dragonflies that's going to eat the eggs before they even had any time to hatch, it's constantly moving water. But we also have an army of dragonflies now flying around every single day trying to catch mosquitoes.
yeah.
So it's not just in the water you have to worry about mosquitoes, it's outside the water, all of your neighbors' pools too. And now we're actually breeding our own natural pest control by having an army of dragonflies eat all of my neighbors' mosquitoes as well.
And
Huge.
dragonflies are nicknamed mosquito hawks.
Yep. Yep. 30 to 150 mosquitoes a day, 95% success rate. Animal Kingdom's most successful predator. We're breeding it every day. And out here in the desert, we've learned that the species are very fast adapting. There's species back east that I'm take years for the dragonfly nymphs to metamorphose into a dragonfly. But here it takes like 50 to 60 days. They'll go from a nymph into a full-grown dragonfly, which is crazy. They don't live as long, but we're always producing new dragonflies from the nymphs, which is great.
Speaking of that, Arizona is a good microcosm for reflecting the climates of the world because there's everything there from the area around Flagstaff to Sedona up at around 7,000 feet, all the way down to the desert floor. So you get freezing conditions up in the north and out in the east,
Yeah.
in the White Mountains, and the opposite down on the desert floor. And you have installations in both northern Arizona and in southern Arizona and central Arizona.
Yeah.
So,
So almost every climate
yeah,
and
yeah,
subclimate, we've installed them just here in Arizona.
yeah.
And from fiberglass pools to concrete pools. And I know back east, you guys primarily use like steel wall,
Yeah.
EPDM liners, which are much better than
PVC.
vinyl liner.
No, not
Sorry,
EPDM.
PVC,
PVC and
even better.
EPDM.
Sorry, even
Yeah,
better than
yeah,
EPDM,
yeah.
the PVC liners. However you want to
Waterproofing.
build your pool,
It
we
doesn't
we can
matter.
build it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a waterproof, watertight, permitted vessel,
The
right?
the pools are the same. Structurally, they're the same, and they're designed and built in conformance with swimming pool code, which is important. We're not building a pond and saying that, the water quality is good, so you can swim in it. Um, these are pools, and they're built in conformance with swimming pool code. We get building permits as swimming pools for all of our projects, and we feel that that's very important.
Mhm.
Um, but structurally, the pools are built the same as a chemical pool. The difference is that we have a biological filter instead of a pressure vessel, which is what chemical pools use. So our pools are actually operating at um, lower energy consumption. Your pool, for example, you probably pull like 300 watts, something like that, running it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep. 70 gallons a minute,
yeah,
300 watts of electricity.
yeah.
So,
It's like three light bulbs.
yeah, and we circulate 24/7, and that's what gets
Yeah,
some people sometime is that they're like, "Oh my God, your pump runs all day every day? That's crazy." But when they realize that your pressurized pool pump uses 1,400 to 2,000 watts of electricity,
yeah,
sure, you might only be running it 8 to 12 hours a day, but 2,000 watts is almost 10 times more than my 300 watts.
yeah,
So, yeah, we run 2 to 3 times more often, but we're using 1/5 to 1/8 of the electricity.
yeah.
So, only thing you have to worry about really is a power outage, which I've never seen a power outage last more than 24 hours here.
Yeah.
ever. Even then, there's no nutrients in the water. So it's not like the pool's just going to automatically turn green like a chemical pool because there's still no nutrients in it. It's actually going to take a few days
Yeah.
after a power outage for it to start turning green. And even then, as soon as you turn that pump back on, biofilter starts out competing everything. So it's not really an issue with the 24/7 circulation. We don't have power outages, non-pressurized system, uses a fraction of the electricity.
Yep. Zach, we could dwell on a number of subjects and
Got to save it for more
get on a lot of
episodes.
yeah, yeah. We should do that. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, sounds good, James. I really appreciate your time and thank you for educating us and all of our future viewers.
Well, same here. Thank you.
Of course. Awesome. Well, we will chat with you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Have fun.